Is Civ 7 finally worth playing? I feel like that's a question a lot of people in the community have been asking. I've been asking myself to a degree, but today I want to give 5 reasons why I really think Civ 7 is worth playing right now. Hey everyone, this is Connor here at Civ Haus, and I'm excited to do this video. Honestly, we've been super slammed. We're preparing for some Pokemon coverage over on the Pokemon Haus. I've personally been doing some Deadlock coverage over on Dead Unlocked, a couple other channels that we run, so I apologize for the lack of content. Part of it is a reflection of the game state, though. It's not that we've succumbed to maybe some of the negativity or any of that. It's just that without major updates, I think Rob and I have both fallen off in our average playtime of Civ a little bit. However, even just to talk to myself and to talk to the community in this video, I do want to go through 5 reasons why I think, honestly, Civ 7 is in a pretty good place right now, and you should be excited about the future of the game, despite what maybe a lot of people on the internet are telling you. The number 1 reason is that, honestly, if we treated Civ 7 in its current state, like it was a new release, it honestly feels like the world is wide open for this game. So for example, to compare it to another game I covered, Deadlock, this is a pre-release alpha game that is currently being workshopped and has been getting changes over the last year and a half or so. I would kind of almost mentally put Civ 7 in a similar place as Deadlock in some ways, because I feel like Civ 7 right now, we don't have a new roadmap. We've just gotten a community survey to get feedback from players. That's always a really important part of the development and player relationship. So I guess how I'd articulate this first point is that it's a blank slate. It's wide open. We really don't know where Civ 7 is going next. And that to me is exciting because developers have at least to some degree prioritized the wants and the needs of the players through that community survey. Rob covered that in our previous video here. And I think stuff like that is so important. And honestly, I think a lot of people debate this. I think the kind of general blank slate engine of Civ 7 is good. I mean, I love the graphics, I love the art style, I love what they've done with a lot of the leaders. I like the leader Civ combinations personally. I'm sure everyone could debate that forever, whether that was the right move or not. But at the end of the day, I think if Civ and the developers there are willing to take some bold steps, make some big changes, and really open up the game in a lot of ways, I think Civ 7 could have a really solid next 1, 2, 3, 4 years down the line, until obviously we get Civ 8. But yeah, so right now I would say number 1 reason is this is a true blank slate. The possibilities are really wide open for what Civ could be in the future, and I tend to be an optimist, so I'm tending to kind of choose this, to think at least, that things could get so much better. We have to acknowledge that as a possibility. Number 2, and kind of on a similar note here, is that there's a lot of things that haven't been added to the game from past Civ games that certainly could come to this one, obviously. So there's plenty of notable leaders that we have not gotten in Civ 7 from past games that are really solid. We obviously got Genghis Khan, but we don't have Gandhi. There's a lot of, we don't have Venice as a Civ you can play. We have something similar with Carthage, but it's not a true one city. Towns obviously throw that off, but there's a lot more kind of the best ofs that we could see in Civ 7 still. I think that is honestly something that players should do in this lull period. I mean, we just got Lakshmi Bai, we got some new additions in 1.2.5. I've even seen folks like Potato McWhiskey playing, so I think there's a general sentiment that the game is in a better place right now and is very playable right now. But if we don't get anything pretty soon and that feeling starts to wear off, I would actually recommend Civ players to go back through some of the archive of Civ and just kind of look through and dream of like what could be drawing from past games. These developers know their game archive and know what they can bring to the table from the past. I expect them to do that moving forward, and I expect that was also probably a heavy-handed part of a lot of people's community feedback was, we want some of the best things from old games. That's why we play this game, is because we loved Civ 4, 6, 1 or 2 or whatever, right? So there's a lot of good stuff still to come from the past, even as we move forward into the future. Point 1 and 2 very similar there, but I think there is some nuanced difference. Number 3, and we've spent points 1 and 2 kind of looking ahead a little bit. I think with this point, though, there's a lot of creativity and fun still to be had, even with just the things we have now. So like leader and Civ combinations, that I would guarantee if you're a player watching this video and you have 500 hours in Civ 7, maybe you have 200 hours, maybe you have 1,000 hours. I think almost no matter what kind of hour count or play time you're at for this game, there are probably still challenges you haven't done. I made a video recently on the channel, one of the last videos I made here was, some creative, fun challenges that players can bring into Civ 7 and kind of self-impose on themselves to enjoy the game more. I personally do this a lot for college football 25, 26. You know, those games get so easy in dynasty mode down the line that you have to kind of create self-imposed challenges. I kind of believe in the same kind of thing for Civ. You play games long enough, you can optimize your leader Civ combinations. You can surely bump up the difficulty, obviously, but this is a sandbox game at its heart, and I think players can still continue to get more and more creative as they approach Civ 7. So this is almost more of a let's try and do more with what we have mentality, which isn't great to hear, but I do think there is some of that people could, you know, embrace to a degree. Number 4, honestly, is just because of all the contents of update 1.2.5. This update has a surprising amount of additions. If you're coming to this video and you haven't played Civ in a little bit, I really would boot it up and just get into a game and see if it feels any different to you. The core of the game may feel similar, and I recognize that. Like, you know, Civ gameplay, Civ 7 gameplay specifically, really is just kind of always going to feel like Civ 7 gameplay. I guess weird sentence, but I think so much of the game, when you get into the nuance of it, really does start to feel pretty refined. The town focuses feel really good. I saw a recent video on someone kind of breaking down the best town focuses, and that feels like a really robust thing to get into right now, especially if you're a true min-maxer with this game. The leader and Civ combinations continue to add up. There's just a lot of quality of life changes that have come in update 1.2.5, like the map generation. There's just so much in this game where if you can erase some of the early parts of your memory of Civ 7 in its infancy and treat this, like I said in the kind of the first point, like this is its infancy, I think there's just a ton you can get from this last update to really enjoy the game. Once we're done covering Pokemon Legends ZA over at Pokemon Haus, I am really planning to dive back into Civ 7 in earnest. I've missed playing this game as much as I used to, and honestly, I feel really good about what I saw in update 1.2.5. So if you've been away for a while, even if you have no intentions of doing anything new with like a creative mindset with your gameplay or combinations or whatever, play this game purely because of the last update. I think it was really good. I think many in the community would agree, and I think developers are on the right track. Everyone can always debate that point till they're blue in the face, but I personally tend to agree with some of the direction they're taking the game right now, at least in the micro sense. Number 5, honestly, I want to kind of say it this way. If you really can't find a reason to play Civ 7, it's okay to take a break from this game. If you've been a Civ fan for a long time, you know the development life cycle of these games can be really, almost like instead of mountains and peaks moving up and down really quickly, it's more like stretching hills, and like we're going to go through lull periods, and like I think many are familiar with this game and how developers of Civ have worked in the past. This doesn't feel like it's necessarily all that different. So if you are struggling, if you're watching this video and you're like, Connor, these reasons suck, I'm not going to go play Civ right now. Honestly, you do you at the end of the day. It's fair. There are other really good strategy games very similar to Civ you could play. I saw Manor Lords, one of my favorites, just got a big update. I could go down a laundry list of other games to play. Take a break from Civ 7 if you need to. Many probably have already taken a break. I'm currently kind of in a break, but I know that when I come back to this game, like I'm excited to come back to this game. I just have other stuff I'm playing right now, and that I think is an okay mindset to have. So to end this video, if you find yourself in a similar spot, don't just make this game out to be a disaster or a lost cause because of it. Taking a break from a game doesn't mean it's a bad game. It just means that you're giving it a break. And that's, I think, a perfectly logical thing for people to approach Civ with right now. I think it's getting better. I think we have reason to be optimistic. I think the game is in a very like blank slate situation where we really don't know where we're going from here. And like I said, we have to be open to the possibility, just like it could be a terrible direction and we could get really no roadmap and it could be a disaster, and then Civ 8's just on the radar. It could also be the opposite. It could be awesome. We could get a really awesome, robust roadmap, and everyone could get super jazzed about some of the changes they have. Personally, like, I really want more diplomacy. I love things like the World Congress. I'm a big, like, influence as a stat in this game has always been my favorite, and I want more ways to kind of extract the value of influence, use it, and even if it's not influence, even if it's just like how I interact with the AI and the other players, that's always that's what entices me in the mid to late game of Civ, and what feels like it's totally missing. And honestly, we have to open our minds to the fact that that could get totally fixed in an update in a month. We really don't know. So I guess my last thing here is just keep an open mind with Civ. If you need to take a break, take a break. But for me right now, I am really excited to come back to this game when I get the chance to. Appreciate you all having some patience with us over at Civ House. We've been really swamped trying to cover some other stuff. We have taken a little bit of a lull, but we fully intend to come back to this game, and we intend to cover all things Civ in the future. So even if it's a disaster, and we can kind of all agree that the future of Civ 7 is not that bright, like we get an update in like the next couple months or something, and it's just not good, we'll kind of figure that out as we go as a community. But just know, Rob and I aren't going anywhere. We're super stoked to still, kind of build and grow this community. So thank you all so much. We appreciate everything. We appreciate all the likes, all the subscribes, all the views. And I'll just end it with this. From our house to yours, we'll see you all next time here at Civ House.